Hello there, welcome to my channel Gear Solid. Okay, let's talk iPhone 13. The 2021 iPhone lineups might look similar to the 2020 iPhone lineups with 4 device models. No prominent design changes are expected on this year's iPhones. They might have the same feature sets as the 2020 iPhones except for camera improvements, a faster A-series processor, a new 5G chip from Qualcomm, increased battery life, and some few tweaks here and there. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's... Whoa. That was quick. Okay, so the first on my list is going to be the camera. I would love to spend some time on the camera since this channel is going to be more software, hardware, and gears for filmmaking. The iPhone 12 Pro Max amazed us with its camera quality. Its superb night mode was a big plus as well, as was the Pro RAW image format that allows professional shooters more flexibility for editing images in apps such as Adobe Lightroom. The biggest change coming on the 13 right now is an improvement to super wide angle lens. If you already own the 12 Pro Max, you would realize the night mode on the regular lens is superb, but the issue was the night mode on the wide angle lens, which wasn't good. At the moment, the aperture of the super wide on the 12 is f2.4, but reports coming out suggest the aperture on the 13 is going to be f1.8. As we all know, the smaller the aperture number, the more light the lens lets in, resulting in better looking images, particularly in low light. Now, taking a close look at the camera bump on the dummy models, I wouldn't be surprised if all the models end up having the same low aperture in order to capture better images in low light. Let's keep in mind the sensor shift stabilization feature for better autofocus and stabilization might happen across the whole lineup. Also, the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro features a diagonal camera setup, which is different from the vertical setup on the 12 models. My number 2 is going to be the portless design. There are rumors that at least one of the iPhone 13 models will have a portless design that will rely entirely on wireless charging. Now, this portless design rumors is something I seem to be having a hard time believing. I doubt it's going to make it on this year's model and even subsequent generations to come. Let me tell you why. Have you ever run into an issue where your iPhone needed to be connected to a desktop PC or Mac to give you a full reset in recovery mode? Anyone who has had to deal with this will know it isn't the most elegant solution, and that it also requires you to plug your phone into the system. Without a port, this becomes something you most likely won't be able to do at home. Should the port disappear, there may be no other way for your phone to reset in recovery mode than for it to be taken to an Apple certified store, which is going to be a severe pain in the bum. My second problem is, should the port disappear, then iPhone users would have to deal with the slow charge of the Maxi, which was, I think, 15 watts on the 12 models. I honestly don't think this is the right time to go portless, because the problems it comes with aren't many, but they can be very severe and could cause its users real headache should they run into any of them. Also, quoting people like John Prosser, he says Apple will dip its toes in the water with one iPhone 13 model dropping the Lightning port. While renowned Apple analyst Ming Chi Kuo has also stated the change is coming eventually. We've seen Apple take many bold steps for other bigger companies to follow. We are all aware of the headphone jack. Though Oppo did it first, it still wasn't well known as compared to the release of the iPhone 7, which had no headphone jack. From there, almost every company follows suit. And even up till now, most people still think Apple did it first. Don't forget the recent removal of the charger brick. We thought it was weird, but they did it and other companies followed. Now slowly it's becoming a thing and nobody seems to be talking about all these anymore. So yeah, the portless iPhone might be happening on one of the 13 models. If it happens, then I'm sure they would be testing the waters to see how the public receives it, and yeah, if it works, then Apple can take it on from there. Other than that, then it's certainly going to be a thing of the future. My number 3 is going to be the 120Hz refresh rate. Now, the 120Hz refresh rate is certain to drop on the Pro models, which at this moment is kind of late and isn't something most people are going to find too amusing since it's been in the system for a very long time. I might be wrong with the amusing part because most Apple users have never experienced 120Hz refresh rate before. So yeah, it's going to amuse those users. Apple fanboys talk too much. They make comments like, oh, we don't like 120 Hz refresh rate, we are okay with our 60 or whatever number they have going on. My reply to you is going to be, wait until you experience it. I just hope Apple doesn't add certain funny options to it just for battery preservation purpose. As at now, we all know how Apple loves to be in charge of their devices, though you paid for it. So yeah, expect something like that. My number 4 is going to be battery. Now, the size of the device is surely going to affect the design of the phone and even in weight. Now, it's certain the new iPhone is going to be the same size as the iPhone 12 model, but the thickness may increase by 0.26 millimeters due to the introduction of a bigger battery. So this year we should expect a slightly bigger battery in all models and also a slightly thicker design. My number 5 is going to be the notch. Most users seem to be complaining about the notch. Okay, let me tell you something. Getting rid of Face ID isn't going to be an easy thing for Apple. Not that they can't get rid of it. No. The problem here is Face ID is something Apple has mastered in the competition, and also people have come to love Apple because of Face ID. Yeah, most users. Apple, of course, is a company that's happy to bid its time, and according to Cool, it's already working on building an under-display camera system to power Face ID, which would naturally eliminate the need for a notch. This lines up with other recent predictions Cool has made for 2023 iPhones, suggesting that at least one of the higher-end models will feature an under-display fingerprint scanner and a full screen display with no notch at all. We are also going to see a punch-hole camera on upcoming iPhones. Now, all these are being put in place just to get rid of the big notch and not Face ID. Apple is one company that loves to stick to one thing for a very long time. So I'm sure whatever security technology they are working on, whether it's being an under-display camera with Face ID or a punch hole with Face ID, whatever they are working on has to be perfect. And for Apple, it has to be a one-time kill. A one-time kill. Because Apple does it once and they keep it for a very long time, like I said before. So let's give them more time. But until then, the big notch is coming back again on the 13 models with just a little shrink in the length and not the width. So it's going to look kind of buff but shorter. I think that's going to look ugly. That design certainly would look something more like an underpant. Just saying. Anyways, if you love this video, kindly don't forget to give me a sub. Until my next video, peace out.